Hello everybody and welcome to my 2023 planner setup. I am clearly making some changes. I was all over the place with my planners last year. I wanted to try out a bunch of different sizes and apologies for all the ink and wounds and terrible manicure. It's been a week. But yeah, I'm going back to A5 very clearly, and I've got some familiar friends and some new friends. So let's just go ahead and talk about what I did last year, or this year. So I had this beauty. It is a B6, A6, I don't know. But I was using it for my work planner. I tried to be fun and have a work planner where I kept track of what I did as far as what I needed to do for work. And I did great until July. And then I fell off the face of the earth, and I've tried to go back and decorate the pages so I can go in and write everything down. And I think I got to like August, here we go, the beginning of September. But I just did not love this style. I love this cover. This is from Galen Leather, and I did get a little bit of stamp on there, but that's okay. I do love this cover. I did love the way this felt in my hand, but I think for the project, as far as just keeping track of what I did for work, it just did not click. I don't need to do that. I don't know why I felt the need to do that. It's completely pointless. It was a waste of a journal. I do not need to write down this stuff in a completely separate journal. I just wanted to play around with a new size and justify buying a new leather cover. I don't think it has anything to do with the size or the notebook, and everything to do with the pointlessness of this task. I just didn't need an entire other notebook for this. It just doesn't make any sense. I could easily write it down in anything else I was using. I was also using a passport for my weekly. I don't have it in here, but basically it was this layout. It was the Traveler's Company. No, it wasn't even this layout, but it was the weekly passport setup from Traveler's Company. And I wanted to go small this year, so I had A6 passport and standard size traveler's notebook. It's not in here because I was journaling in it earlier, and I took it out of the cover. But basically for my personal journal, I had a standard size traveler's notebook. For my work journal, I had this beauty, which I think is A6. I don't think it's B6. And then for my like archival planner, I had it in a passport. And it just left very little room to be creative. I felt stunted. I felt like I just couldn't connect with the smaller sizes, and I just didn't vibe. I was happiest in A5. So I think from here on out, now that I know I've tested a bunch of different sizes, I'm going to continue to stay with A5 for the foreseeable future. So the first one I have here is from MUJI. I had to buy this online. I don't have a MUJI near me, and the only weekly cover or insert notebook planner that they had was online anyway. At the time that I purchased this was this craft one, which I don't hate. I'm just a little bit bummed because I didn't get the cover that comes with the other one, the white one, the black one, the red one. If you get that one, it comes with like a clear cover and like a faux leather cover. It's a whole thing. And this was like $5 more expensive than that one. I don't know what I did wrong, but I panicked because I bought what I could at the time, what was available online. So anyway, it is a weekly insert. This is just like the Traveler's Company standard size weekly layout situation where you have the week on one side and then you have a grid on this side. I love this layout. I have used it since 2014 with Traveler's Company, and then I think a couple years ago I used this MUJI A5 version. I just love having my week on one side where I can write down all the things that happened and then be able to use this side for creativity, being able to put down business cards or stickers or postage stamps or anything that I come into contact with during that week. It's a beautiful physical representation of how my week looked in terms of ephemera. And I really miss doing that. I was not able to do that in the passport size this year, and I hated it. And I just wanted to go back to A5. I used the Muji one, like I said, a couple years ago and just loved it. But this particular one has a year at a glance, your monthlies all at the front, and then it goes into your weekly and then your grid. And then at the end, it's got a few pages of just grid, and it goes to January. It looks like the end of January. Something that I will say that I did a couple years ago when I had this is I cut this notebook in half because I didn't want an entire year in one notebook because it's going to end up like this fat. Not to say that I'm like an over embellisher, but I just do not like it when notebooks get fatter than this. I just don't like it. So I will be cutting this in half. I do not know if I will be filming it because I did film this process when I used this insert a couple years ago. So I just don't really think I need to beat a dead horse with that. If you're interested in seeing it, just leave a comment down below. And I mean, content is content, right? But basically I just split it at the July crease, which will actually be the second week of July in this particular one. I don't know if you guys can see, but it basically ends right there. And I can just take a knife and cut it right here. And then I've got basically an Avec style notebook, if you're familiar with the Hobonichi ones, where it splits it in the year. And then I add a cover to the front and a cover to the back of this. It works out perfectly because this is a grid. I can easily just add a cover to the front of this, and I do not miss any of my weeklies right here. Oops. Sorry about that. I got a phone call. Don't even remember what I was talking about. But yes, I will be cutting this in half. I will be adding a cover on the front and on the back, and I will have two notebooks, and that will be that. I am going to get a clear cover for this, kind of like this one. I don't know. I'm sure it would fit. Yeah, so I'll probably just buy some more of these clear covers. This clear cover is actually from Midori itself. I think I have the packaging right here. It comes with a pack of 2, and I've been buying these for years, and I love them. They're thick enough for me. It comes with this white cardboard insert if you wanted to decorate that and have that be the cover rather than your notebook cover. But since we're moving on, for my personal journal, which I used as a standard size this year, I'm going to be using this. This is just a blank A5 Midori notebook, and the reason that I have chosen this particular insert is because I love the paper. I might lean into a grid one next time. I've got 2 of these left. I have here's the package. It's the MD Notebook Light. It comes in a 3-pack. It's just blank paper, and I'm using one for my December daily project. Again, this is the other clear cover. I did A5 last year, no, 2 years ago, and I loved it for my December daily project. So I will be using this for my December journal this year, and I have 2 more notebooks to choose from. I just have to get more clear covers. So this will be my personal journal. This is where I'll be doing most of my creative type journaling and just the bulk of my personal journal. And then the newest member of the family, which is this beauty, I have seen this around for years, and I hated how big it was, and I knew I would never, ever, ever be able to use anything like that just because of the sheer size of it, and it would end up being like this big by the time I was done with it. I decided to give it a try. I will be Frankensteining this as well. I will be cutting it because it is way too thick. This one is going to be a lot more labor intensive. I'm not sure if I'm going to film it just because it's going to be very intense, because I'm going to have to peel the paper away from this leather cover, and then I'm going to have to split it along whatever lines, and I think I'm going to be doing that as I get going. I'm going to leave it intact for now and then start using it, and then wait till it gets to the thickness that I think is appropriate, and then I will cut it, create a new back for it, create a new cover for it, and then just keep going. I suspect I will probably have to split it into 3 or for different notebooks, but we'll see as the year goes on. Again, I will probably just be putting it into one of these clear covers to keep it safe and protected and intact because it won't have its original binding anymore. I'm going to be dipping the ends of these bookmarks into wax so they don't continue to fray. This book is brand new and it's already fraying a whole bunch. I think what I'm going to use this for is for normal planning, keeping track of appointments, keeping track of work, keeping track of home life, keeping track of everything. This is sort of going to be my everything notebook. Some days there will be lots of creativity. Some days there's just going to be pure writing. It's going to be an archival journal in a sense, but it's not going to be the kind that I can just like flip to at a glance and say, okay, this is when I had my oil changed. This is when I had to do that at the school. When did I do that one thing? Okay, yep, nope, it's right here. This is when I did that one thing. That's what this is for. This is purely archival and creative. This is going to be more of like keeping track of my entire life. I'm going to try to use it that way. We'll see. I'm not in love with the idea yet. I'm not fully convinced that I can maintain this. I did pay like $50 for it, so I'm going to be a little bit bitter if I can't make it work, but I'm going to try. I did already put my little bookmarks on there. So another thing, I keep saying I need to minimalize. But this is my base. This is a planner that I got a couple months ago, and it was my keeping track of my life planner. And I did a really good job of using it for several months. And then around the same time that I fell off, the beginning of November, mid-October, is when I fell off the wagon for everything. October is my craziest month, and I just fell off the wagon for every creative project in my life. I'm going to get back into this. This is going to be something that just sits on my desk and reminds me what I need to do that particular day. It's like my list book. I'm going to continue to use it because I don't want to waste it. It was free. It was provided to me by personalplanner.com, so I don't want to waste it. It is really beautiful. I did create it to my specifications, so it is a great option for me, and I'm going to try to continue to use that in order to keep my to-do lists and stuff in check. And then this is the cover that came with this notebook, and I have a Traveler's Company horizontal craft paper spiral notebook in here that I got from the Paper Seahorse. And I think I'm going to try to use this as like a collage journal, a creative journal, not necessarily for thoughts or note keeping or anything like that. Maybe leaning into the junk journal scene. I just need something that's therapeutic and maybe not something that I feel the need to film when I'm working in it. So that's why I have it in this leather cover to sort of keep it protected. It's much too big. I mean, there's so much room surrounding this thing, but it felt like an appropriate use for it. I do have another junk journal notebook that I got from the Junking Journal, the Junking Journaler. So I'm going to be working in that as well. I'm definitely going to be trying out a bunch of different mediums next year. So be excited for that. You probably won't see a whole lot of these next year. And if I'm being totally honest, you probably won't even see this a whole lot either. I want to be creative and make it pretty, but I really don't know if I'm going to fall in love with it yet. So we'll see. It could just be a $53 mega mistake, and I could just be happy with just these two inserts, which is how it was a couple years ago, and I was really happy then. I keep searching for planner peace and happiness, and I was happiest with just this simple setup here. So we'll see. I definitely want to find a leather cover that can accommodate these two things. I'm thinking like less traveler's notebook with elastics and more padfolio type thing, but we'll see. I have the goat skin leather that I'll probably put this into, and then I'm happy with this clear cover right here. It's lightweight, it's simple, and it's not going to get damaged. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll fall in love with something. But that is pretty much it. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. I'm sorry that it's not aesthetically pleasing or really informative in any other way other than my ideal setup, but this is what I've got going. I hope that you will stay tuned and enjoy the process of seeing me work with this, but that is basically it. So if you have any questions, as always, please feel free to leave them down below. If you're not a subscriber, I would encourage you to do so that you don't miss any future mail art, junking, journaling, creative journaling, plannery type stuff in the future. And I will catch you guys later. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Bye!